Hello, hello. I think we're live. Are we live? We're live. All right. And I changed the title this time. So good stuff. Good stuff. $18 followers are now active. You know, I'm going to tell you something. I'm just here to help. Don't come asking me for money. Don't come at, that's it. You know, I work with alcoholics, man. Um, Alcoholics in my life come first. I got it. Okay. Because if I don't, then I will not stay in recovery and then I won't be there for anybody. Okay. And there's a lot of people that depend on me to come on here and run my mouth and say, so I don't have time for other stuff. I wish I did. Okay, but I'm extremely particular on what I get involved with. And I won't just jump on your bandwagon. There's no way that'll happen unless I know you very, very well. It'll take time. See, people like to use me because I have such a giving heart. And those days are over. Those days are over, man. You know, seems like when things are going good for me, everybody comes out of the woodwork. Hey, where were you when things were going bad? Where were you when I needed the support? All right. I notice these things. And if you're not around when I'm doing stuff and not supporting me and things are going good, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to include you. Mm-mm. No. See, I'm responsible for certain things. If I do something like this, like here, I'm live. Therefore, I am responsible on what happens here. I'm the one that takes the flack. I'm the one that has to hear the shit. Right? If I'm wrong, I'm the one that has to hear about it. Right? And that's okay. I'm wrong often here. It's okay. Welcome to Daily Trudge. You'll probably leave before you listen. If you're here, please say hello. But I didn't start this to make friends. No, I did it to create a fellowship, and it has happened. Um, my fellowship is kind of small, hence it's 124, and nobody's really here. But I have a ton of rewatchers too. And I'm going to tell you something. I really, really appreciate my rewatchers. I really do. You keep me humble. You keep me humble. Thank you for that. Thank you for understanding that it's not good to feed Dion's head. Those are my friends, man. Right? You can't always make it. I might get some messages. Hey, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm always like, no worries, no biggie. All right. So, what is the responsibility statement? Is that what this is about? Kinda. Kinda. Let's utilize it at least. All right. I'm responsible when anyone, anywhere, reaches out for help. I want the hand of AA to be there. And for that, I am responsible. Now, nowhere in there. Hey, Amber. Howdy. Must be Friday. We're all in a good mood. I get my grandkids this week. I'm kind of excited because I'm the one doing the planning. So I want to take them bowling, but I don't. Whoo! See, bowling used to be good because it was cheap. Not anymore. Not anymore. All right. You can take $5, go bowling all day. All right. So the responsibility statement, nowhere in there does say anything about alcoholism. when anyone, anywhere, reaches out for help, I want the head of AA to be there. I'm talking with a guy whose sister's going through stuff. We're trying to help her, right? For a sober living, but she's like, they cost money. I'm like, oh, we'd always try NA. It's free. These are systems that are put in place for us to be able to help out. All right. Now we can take the responsibility statement. What's my number one responsibility? To stay sober. That's my number one. To stay in recovery. That's my number one responsibility. But that covers a lot. It covers a lot. What's wrong, Whiny Butt? Come here. Come here. Whiny Butt. This is Sebastian. I'm Sebastian. He's got like half a mustache. He's the only cat that actually sits in my lap. So, and when he goes, meow, it means I'm lonely. Huh. It means I need my dad. So, huh. Because I'm responsible for you too, huh? He's also the only cat that when I'm feeling sad, he just comes and sits next to me. So, he's my emotional support kitty. Yeah, try and take my emotional support kitty to a store. Watch what happens. He's so shy, he wouldn't even make it. So, my recovery, I am responsible for it. Nobody else is responsible for that. What are some of the other things that I'm responsible for that don't necessarily mean the responsibility statement? Because the responsibility statement is pretty fucking clear. It's pretty clear. What are some of my other responsibilities? Number one, my actions. I got to be responsible for my actions. As an alcoholic, this is imperative. If I'm not responsible for my actions, therefore I'm not accountable, and you can kiss any kind of recovery goodbye. Because recovery without accountability is just sobriety. Got to be accountable, man. What does accountability mean? Let's look it up. I know what it means. But let's see what it says here. Oh, you do kisses, yes. Not very often kitties give you kisses, so. And usually they're just trying to clean it so that they can bite you. What was I looking up? Accountability. Acquaintance. It's not in here. Anyway, right? So accountability. What does accountability mean for us? Number one, if you live with other people, tell them where you're going. I do that every time I leave. Hey, I'm going here. I will be back by this time. That's what people do. So don't act like we're asking you to do something that's out of the norm. We're not picking on you. That's what normal people do. You want to know why? Because if something happens, we need to make sure you're okay. I love you. I want to make sure you're all right. I pretty much know where my wife is at all times. She knows where I'm at. Meetings. Go to the same meetings. Find yourself, find your people, and go to that meeting every day. Do not pick a meeting that's once a week. You got to pick a meeting that's every day. I'm tired of going to meetings hearing people, I haven't been to a meeting in 2 weeks. I'm like, what the fuck's your problem? Well, I'm just too busy. Too busy for what? You weren't too busy to fucking drink. I guarantee you can find an hour in your day. Do it. Because I'm going to tell you, it is so much easier to skip that second meeting. The moment your brain thinks it doesn't need AA, you are fucked. I'll watch it happen all the time. So accountability, I am responsible for my actions, period. Okay? Isn't that what we try and teach our kids? That for every action, there's a reaction. There's a consequence to every single action. Did we think we were free of this? I'll just think my way out of it. No, it didn't work. Huh, wonder why. Wonder why. What else am I responsible for? My emotions. I hate this one. I hate this one. It's true. I hate it. Well, I don't hate it now that I've accomplished it. But it's just it was one of those things where it's like, my feelings were the only things I really had left. You took everything else. All I was left here was an empty shell of feelings. And I want them to be fact. To this day, I want feelings to be facts. They're not, but I want them to be because, gosh, then I would be right. But I'm not. And I've got to learn to be okay with that. In the beginning, it's hard because I was just wrong. I was wrong about everything. And every time I opened my darn mouth, I was wrong. So I just started to keep my fucking mouth shut because I was tired of being wrong. So I would listen to other people and they would say, hey, I did this wrong. But then I found out if I did this, it would be awesome. Um, I forgot I should follow up on stuff like that. I'm working with somebody and we're learning our communication, which I think is cool. I'm going to tell you, it has been a fucking relief. Thank you, God. But you know what? It was the right person. So time. So I'm responsible for my feelings and how I react to those feelings. Sometimes people do things that just piss me the fuck off. I'm like you. Drive around, people thinking they're this and that. Yesterday I stopped by Popeyes. I get a sandwich. 3 times I say plain. I even get up there. I'm like, did you put plain? Because I didn't see it on the screen. She even looked at the thing, came back, lied to my fucking face and said yes. I get to the club. I'm starving. I don't get to eat because my sandwich has mayonnaise all over it. So I have to go get a hot dog. I have to get a hot dog in the pouring rain, come back. And I stop by on the way back. And I go in and I am very nice about it. Right? And she looks at me like I'm a fucking idiot. I'm like, the least you can do is say sorry. And she didn't even do that. And the customer said, man, you are being very nice about it. And I said, there's no point in starting a fight. And then I started talking to this Hispanic guy. His English was kind of cut up, but we agreed that it didn't matter what their attitude was, that we had to be the leaders, and we had a good talk. I did not eat that sandwich. No way I ate that sandwich because I know they spit on it. Oh, that's stupid. That's what my brain says. There's no way I'm eating it. The attitude that I got back, right? Yeah. Did I do anything else? No. What should I do? Make their day worse? Maybe her son's living on the fucking streets and she's got something else on her mind. I don't know. I can't make that assumption. So that comes back to I am responsible for my feelings. Did that action make me mad? Yes. Was that action personal? Yeah. So what? I guarantee they don't remember me. What else am I responsible for? This one's the hardest. This is the one that pisses me oh, hi, Daryl. Yeah. Thank God it's Friday because then everybody else gets to join us, Daryl. That's what it is. But yeah, I tell people Saturday and Monday are the same day to me. That hasn't changed because I do this every day. And yeah, so I'm not retired, but yeah, I guess I am in a sense. So the last thing I'm responsible for in what we're talking about here, my triggers. I got to be responsible for my triggers. I learned this going through PTSD. It went along with the emotions that I was responsible for my emotions. Well, what is it that triggers me? My emotions. It's my emotions that trigger me. Always. Sad, happy, excited, elated, depressed. Right? And that means that any feeling in overuse, okay, joy, not a feeling. Joy is a state of being. Serenity, state of being. Happiness, feeling. Right? I separate these things in my brain. You can do it however you want as long as it works and you get to the right thing. Right? Triggers. What were some of my triggers? Well, my parents. Oh yeah. My parents. Anytime I would even think of them, bam, off to the races. Off to the races. Yeah. The perception of what's going on around you. Yeah. You know, I was in a meeting yesterday and people were bringing up that they thought everybody hated them and things like that. Paranoia comes with alcoholism. When you do not, when you drink, you do not dream. You do not dream, you do not REM. When you do not REM, you do not sleep. When you do not sleep, you go crazy. Welcome to paranoia. Daryl says, my response to my perceptions of what's going on around me. That's a great way to put it, too. And, you're going to have to ask yourself honest questions. My therapist was great at this. I'd be like, why is this not happening? And she would say, Dion, is that something you really want? And the answer was always no. She's like, that's why it's not working. You don't really want it. Just like when it came to sobriety. If I don't want it, it ain't going to happen. I have to want sobriety, the gift of desperation. Well, that's just like everything else in life. No, I just think I want it because I think it's going to make me happy. Then I found out happiness wasn't the goal. I found that happiness was a dividend to a job well done. That made a huge difference for me because for a good portion of my life, I thought all of this made me happy. And I was wrong. I make me happy. And I make me happy by doing the right thing. And that's not easy. For me, it's not easy. I get out of my lane quite often. I know that. That's why God has people in my life that knows what lane I'm in. Right? And I'm proud of myself. I've done a lot better lately. A lot better. I haven't even gone, you know. My mind's been trying to see something, but what am I responsible for? My triggers, and that's a trigger. And I told my sponsor that I'd focus on something, right, so that we could take care of this and Dion can get over this hump that he's going through. And it's working. It's working. Now, that comes back to the first one of being accountable, that I am responsible for my actions. See, my triggers lead to my emotions that lead to my actions. Yeah. A trigger can be anything that isn't going the way I think it's supposed to. Sounds an awful lot like a 4-letter word called fear. There we are. All of these things, every single thing that we just talked about comes down to fear. Fear that I'm not going to get what I want. I still go through that. Sure, I do. Not as much progress. Fear that I'm going to lose something I hold dearly. And I will give you a fantastic example. My wife. Can't live without her. I tell you something. I don't want to live without her. Between you and me, I hope she goes first. Because I won't be far behind. I already know. I don't want to live a day without her. I'm just being honest, man. From the day I laid eyes on her in 1987, I knew she was going to save my life. With the help of God, of course, right? The glory does go to God. But what a neat thing for God to do for me, to set aside a whole beautiful person to help me, that loves me unconditionally. She taught me how to love unconditionally, her in AA. I was very fortunate when I got here because there were a lot of people that knew Dion and loved Dion. And I had to sit in those rooms and be uncomfortable and let people love me. I had to let them give me compliments and say thank you. God, that was hard. Isn't it hard to say thank you? Somebody gives you a compliment. Yeah. Yeah. Reimagined. Yeah. Anything real or imagined. And for me, it's usually imagined. Okay. I don't need alcohol in me to be paranoid. No. I just need to be triggered. So I need to watch that. Maybe what are some other things we're responsible for that's out of the scope of what we're talking about? What about the newcomer? Right? I heard a lady speaking the other day, and she said, I need a sponsor. And afterwards, nobody approached her. And I mean, they approached her, but they said nothing about sponsorship. I told her, I know somebody that might be able to help you. And I handed out some phone numbers, but, you know, yeah, and it's funny because the people that I work with, they're kind of rough. And I always tell people, my circle, I mean, like right now, Daryl and Amber are here. Okay. Now, if Lori was here, I'd have the trifecta. Those are my 3 friends that keep my ass in line. It's 3 of them. Right. Then I got another good friend that comes here when she's not here, so I'm not going to say her name. Okay. But she always helps me get through this and smooth it. Hey, Dion, you're at this, you're at that. And she always has my back. Okay. Ooh, Amber, I did not know that. That's it. Yeah, because your subconscious doesn't have a chance. So when you don't sleep, you can't process trauma either. I forgot about that. Thank you for bringing that up. Is responsible, accountable. Yep, that's what we talked about in the beginning. I am responsible for my actions, and therefore I need to be accountable. Okay, and accountability in the beginning just looks like this. Tell people where you're going. Let them know when you will be back so that when you're not back at that time, they're like, where the fuck are you? Okay. Now we'll get a sponsor. A sponsor is a great way to be accountable. Okay. Daryl and I started working together a few months ago, and my accountability so much fucking better. So much better. Okay. We need that. And it doesn't matter who you are, because this is what happens. Oh, you know what? I can't post that or I'm going to hear from Daryl. That's what's been going on with me lately. See, it works. Yeah, I figured you did. Right? But your shit, the thing is, yeah, and then now you're here and God gave you a chance to share it. Right? That's what I love about this. About the and I didn't mean to put this up. I was just taking hers down, but sometimes way too often I need others to hold me accountable. I hear what you're saying. Does God give us more than we can handle? I think this is a I think this is 100% personal and opinion. My answer is yes. I think that God gives me more than I can handle. Because otherwise, I don't reach out to his children. If I think I can handle it all on my own, my brain will not think of you. That's how I am. Now, he doesn't put me on overload. I do. I will do that. Right? So now the thing is, we're learning this right now, but in 2 weeks, my brain could fucking forget it all. Something could happen, and all of it's just like, something good will happen. And my brain will take that as a marker that I am correct. I'm never correct. I do what's right. I do what's good. I don't know if I'm correct. That's why I have people in my life. I was born bodily and mentally different than my fellows, period. Bodily and mentally different. I was born. I truly believe that because I cannot look back and find a spot in my life where I became an alcoholic. I've always had alcoholic behavior since I can remember. I ran away to get what I wanted and it worked. That is manipulation. I ain't tried something first. Right? Um, yeah, see, and that's why I like to say it's opinionated because I think everyone feels different about it. Sometimes I'm not disciplined enough to always be accountable for myself. I'm better at it, but if I was there'd be no reason for a 10th step. Correct. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When it says, when this happens, and they're talking 83, 84 in there in the 10th step, when these things pop up, we ask God for direction immediately. Then we seek out another person to help us. It doesn't say if this happens to you. No, it says when. Okay. And it will happen. It's like my spots, he couldn't meet on Monday, right? And he's through his stuff. He's passed his year, everything else. And I reminded him, I said, all right, but if something comes up, I'm here. And he goes, oh, no worries. Everything's pretty good. I wrote back, this too shall pass. And I haven't heard back from him. But I'm going to tell you, here in the next week or two, he's going to need to talk to me. Well, he hit his year, the pink cloud. All right. It's a very dangerous area. I warned him. 1 year can be dangerous if you're not on the beam. Right. So it's a matter of when, right? When these crop up, right? That comes back to trust. I trust I'm human. That's as far as I'm going to go. As far as I'm going to go. I trust that you're human. That allows me to love you for who you are. That includes the people I think, I don't want to call them enemies or this or that or people that I don't like. Because I'm at a point where I need to look at things that I like about these other people, or I'm going to trigger myself And then I will go on Facebook and be an asshole. No thanks. No thanks. Why'd that happen? Accountability. It was all accountability. Yeah. Life is a matter of when. We're all going to go through it. There's certain things that we all experience, like death. You know, um, it's been a good talk, man. Um, man, my brain thinks it has things to do, but I don't know what they are. And I did get your message, Daryl. I'll be right back here in a second. So, all right. I'm going to go to a 3 o'clock meeting, and then I got the grandkids. So, probably will not see me again today. All right. Yeah, right. We'll see. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, I got a little conundrum, and you can write to me about it, or so, and I don't mind just switching it to being online, but Thursdays at the church are nobody. I mean, it was a big fat zero last night. And and my thing is this, if it was just AA, I'd be done. I'd gay, thanks, we tried, you know. But I have Al-Anon's going on. So I feel like if I shut down that meeting, that I'm disrespecting Al-Anon. And I don't want to do that. It's important to me that Al-Anon is there because they're bringing Alateen. And Alateen is our prevention program. And it's a must-have. I'm like, it's a must-have. Um, you know, and I don't want to bring this up and make anybody feel guilty either. We all have our lives. We have things going on, and I don't sit there and go, this person in here. It's not that. It isn't. I know that people support me. You support me all over the fucking place. I don't expect you to be everywhere. My lives, my podcasts, my meetings. No, I don't expect you to do it all. I don't. So, I need, do I stop? Because I could just as easily go to the 5:30 meeting over at Fourth Dimension where there's people and I can help them. My brain says no, that I shouldn't. My gut says no. But it's not easy. It's a little embarrassing. I had Al-Anon to come there because I was all excited. I'm like, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have that. And kinda. I do have an online presence, but I put it all over Facebook, and I didn't get anybody online last night either. Now we can make some changes in the group. I could add it to like something like Everything AA, but I'm the only person, and I don't want to make decisions alone. I feel like that's a conflict of interest because then I feel like I'm controlling the whole thing, and that's not AA for me. So I've been doing nothing. I've been letting people know, but I'm not making any decisions because it says I need a group to do that. So without the group, there's no decisions. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But online's too good too. I just had a flashback on a dream. Oh, okay. It wasn't a bad one. Just that was just unexpected. So, lot of little things moving around. The other thing is the meeting is important. It needs to be there for the halfway house coming up, or Silver Living, whatever, for the Hayworth houses coming up, because they're going to be in that area. We're going to utilize the church to be able to do things for 501c3 and fundraise and all this other stuff. That's what the church wants to do and help us out with. See, there's more. I told you there's more. You don't know everything. I don't remember everything to tell you. That's why I need y'all. All right. I'm gonna shut up now. No, I'm gonna shut up for now. All right. For the people that go to the 3 p.m., try and make it today. Julia is chairing, and let's come in and support her. Let's rock that fucking meeting, man. Let's rock it. I love you. I love you. I really do. Isn't it neat that you get to be the person that loves other people till they love themselves now? It's the coolest thing in the world. I love you. Peace out.